Hey everyone, welcome to the Wilson Homestead. So I'm sitting here on the porch and I am feeling a little overwhelmed. I have so much that I need to get done. And our weather has been crazy. Like, seriously, we go straight from winter time to summertime. Like from 34 to 90 in a day. So I had to finally carry all of my plants from the grow room in the basement out to the porch, and I'm swinging right now, so if you see the background moving, that's why. But anyway, I carried all of my plants up from the grow room, and I have them on the porch hardening off. So I kind of do the lazy person's way of hardening off my plants. I have a pretty large front porch, and it faces east, so it mostly just gets morning sun. It's pretty shaded for the rest of the day. But anyway, I bring my plants up here on the porch. I put them close to the house for the first day, and then I move them out about 2 feet for the next day, and then move them out clear towards the railing. And then by the time I do that, the next place they go, as I have space, I have a landing out front that gets a lot more sun, and I push them out there. But it's a smaller landing, so it takes me longer to get through that process. So as I plant, like I have in mind, okay, I'm planting peppers in 3 days, so I need to start them on the landing. Or I'm planting tomatoes after that, so I need to start them on the landing too. So that's how I harden my plants off, so that way I don't have to carry things in and out, because that would be really hard. We have house dogs that would tear my plants to pieces if I would put them out in the yard. Plus we have deer and rabbits. Actually, one time I was trying to harden off brassicas down in front of my basement stoop, and I just put them out on the ground, and I looked out the basement door, and there was a deer eating all of my brassica starts right off of the sidewalk in front of my house. So that just lets you know that I can't leave my baby plants down in my yard. It has to be up here on the porch, and then once they're hardened off, of course, they go into the fenced garden where they're safe. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, it's just getting really overwhelming because I'm basically the only person that does the vegetable garden. Joey helps sometimes whenever, it's something big like building beds, or if I'm overwhelmed with a harvest, sometimes he'll come out and help me, but basically it's just me. Plus I have a full-time job, plus taking care of the house and making dinner, and all of the life things. So I'm just to the place where I'm getting overwhelmed. My garden is a complete and total mess. It is chaos down there. I'm going to show you what it looks like, because I want to look back on this video in about a month and say, man, I really got a lot accomplished, because it looks awful down there. It is clear full of weeds. I mulched with straw last year because I assumed that it wouldn't have a whole lot of seeds in it, but it had a lot of seeds in it. Like, you'll see how bad it is. So what I'm doing is just trying to get that garden cleaned out, so that way I can start planting some of this stuff. I want to show you why I want to get it planted. My front porch is my oasis in the summertime. I like to come out here and sit and relax for a little bit whenever I can. And it's chaos here now too, because I have all these plants. I'm going to show you. Hold on a second. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. Here we are. I think I got a little bit carried away this year. A lot of these plants are probably going to have to be given away because seriously, all of these are pepper plants, plus there's more over there. Like, I can't use that many peppers. It's just ridiculous. Now, my tomatoes, on the other hand, this is the only tray of big tomatoes that I have, because, like I told you, I couldn't figure out what was going on with my tomato plants. They started dying, and I did come to the conclusion that it was the soil. So I switched soil and everything started doing a lot better after I did that. But I've got a few smaller tomatoes here and a few smaller tomatoes over here. Let's see, I've got some mixed flowers in here. I've got columbines. I grew a bunch of columbines and I grew a lot of Rudbeckia. This one is trying to bloom, this Rudbeckia right here. It's Prairie Sun. And I've got a bunch of marigolds right here, which need to be put in the ground. Just everything's struggling because it wants out of these small little cups. Oh, I've got some marjoram and thyme and things like that in these cups. Look at all these beautiful coleus. And then over here, over here on the other side of the porch, I've got some more Rudbeckia pineapple ground cherries, which are looking pretty good. And I'm excited about these. All of these little square containers here, I started some, let's see, what was it? I think it was African Sunset Black-Eyed Susan vines. So I cannot wait to have those. Those are one of my favorite plants, Black-Eyed Susan vines. And the African Sunset variety I've never grown before, but it's kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it. It looks like a sunset. Like, it's like reddish, pinkish, you know, has all the colors in it. And then over here, I have begonias that I saved the, are they bulbs? I don't think they're bulbs. Are they tubers? Yeah, tuberous begonias, duh. So I saved the tubers last year, and I'm growing those again. I saved elephant ear, are those bulbs? Right? Elephant ear bulbs, I think. And they're coming up. It's nice to not have to buy those things every year because it can get expensive. Like some of the elephant ear bulbs that I've seen in the stores, if you want to get a big one, it costs you like at least $10. That's at Walmart. I have a geranium here that I saved from last year. It's a salmon colored geranium. And then over here in all of its glory, I think I started these about, oh gosh, probably 6-7 weeks ago. This is Trata scantia, and anyway, what I do is I take cuttings off of my house plant, and I take 3 or 4 inch pots, and I put 2 cuttings in each pot. So I will take these and put them in hanging baskets, and I'll put 2 of the containers in each basket. So that means there's 4 cuttings in each basket. And they will fill up and be so beautiful. My porch is pretty shaded. Like I said, it's east facing, so they don't get a lot of sun, but like this is a plant that doesn't need a lot of sun. Like if I would put, you know, something like petunias or, you know, things that enjoy a lot of sun, they wouldn't do well on my front porch. So I like to stick with things that I know are going to do well, and I've been growing these. This will be the 3rd year that I'm put these in hanging baskets, because I mean, once you find something that works out well, you don't turn back. My brother and sister-in-law got me this cute little planter for my birthday. It has a spike in it, and it has some verbena, and it has calibrachoa and some petunias. It's really pretty. I hope that it gets enough sun here, which I am on, like, my little overhang here that doesn't have a roof. So it should be fine in this area. I'm probably going to move it over here because I have a pot that I plant that goes right here. So they'll just be right next to each other. I haven't done anything to my front porch urns yet. I still need to figure out what I want to do here, because these heucheras that I've had in here for 2 years, this will be their 3rd season, and they are getting massive. They're kind of like taking up the entire pot. So I don't know if I want to take these out and plant them in my landscape, or do I kind of want to bump them over and get, I don't know what to put with them. Like, I'm stumped this year. I want to do something a little bit different. I was thinking, you know, if I bumped them over a little bit and I could get a small hosta or something that I could put in there, and then maybe some creeping Jenny or something like that. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Or what I could do is put these towards the back, not all the way, just kind of so it looks like it fills out, and put Creeping Jenny all the way around and let it trail down. That would be pretty too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We went to Menards the other day and I got some pretty cool perennial plants. I got butterfly blue pincushion flower. Scabiosa, I think, is the Latin name for this. And I also got Moonbeam Coreopsis, which I'm really excited about this plant. I've wanted one of these for years. And I got this really cool heuchera. I love heucheras. They're one of my favorites. Magma, which is a perfect name for it. I mean, look at that color. That is beautiful. Alright, so I figured we would come down here and take a look at the garden space. I've planted this little 4x4 raised bed up with radishes and lettuce and carrots, so everything's starting to come up. I hope you can see through. We have this screened hoop put on this area. That way the deer stay out of it, and it keeps the bugs out too. Most of them. But the radishes are popping. I mean, they are doing good. But like I said, the weather has been so hot that the radishes will probably also be super hot and spicy. And hopefully all of this lettuce don't bolt too quick and get bitter. And look at this big bunch of happiness right here. My cousin's boyfriend got us a whole bunch of mushroom compost, which is awesome. Over here I have a bunch of oregano and a bunch of weeds. Also, I have my garlic chives here. Since they're kind of like weedy and want to get carried away, I put everything that wants to be like that in this rock flower bed, and they can just take over if they want to, but I need to get through here and pull some of this stuff out. But I've got like more oregano than I'll ever be able to eat. It does pretty well in this spot, but I do see that I need to come through and like get some of this other stuff out of here. But I should be able to harvest some of this pretty soon and dry it. Smells good. I like oregano, but I would advise you, don't put this in your vegetable garden because it's a beast. Okay, let's go into my poor sad garden. My poor weedy garden. Seriously, look at these weeds. They're like 8 feet tall. It's ridiculous. And I keep sneezing because they're releasing all of their pollen right now. But like the whole garden looks like that. Everywhere that I put straw down looks like that. I really mulched heavily around my tomatoes last year with that straw, and you can see there's some beauty in here though. Look at these weeds. Look how pretty they are. And I had all kinds of dandelions that were blooming earlier. Okay, so now let me show you my progress so far. This bed is cleaned out completely and has onions planted in it. But there's weeds coming back that I have to keep coming through and pulling. But that's okay. That's part of gardening, I guess. And also, down here, this is weeded and mulched with the mushroom compost. And I have onions here. And then I haven't planted anything in this area yet. I'm planning on putting all of my peppers here this year. I cleaned out this whole bed, and it is mulched with the mushroom compost. I do have a couple of sage plants up here, and I'm starting to think that I don't need 3 sage plants in my garden, because I have another one over there. You'll see it in a minute. But nobody needs that much sage. I have some in my kitchen right now drying to use, you know, for culinary purposes. Plus I've made sage sticks to burn and all that stuff. But this is just too much. I didn't realize like how fast this stuff grew. It's a beautiful plant, but like this area down here in the vegetable garden, I want to grow mostly food. I don't want things in here that I do not need. Like if this is too much sage, I don't need all of it. I can probably take both of these plants out and be okay with the other one that's over there. So, and then here is another bed that I got cleaned out. I only have half of it mulched so far, but I'm going to work on it tonight. And I started on this bed. I mean, you can see how bad this is to get cleaned out. It's just taken me forever. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get done with this. It's just so overwhelming. I have a couple more beds over here. This is a sad bed. Here's my other sage plant. And I thought I had my brassicas hardened off, and I'm pretty sure I did, but after I put them in the ground is whenever it shot up to like 90 degrees. They did not appreciate it. And I was at work, and I didn't get home soon enough to water them, and so most of them died, but I think a few of them will pull through. These are Brunswick cabbages, and as long as I get some cabbage, I'm cool with it. And if not, I can just grow some more starts and I'll try it again for fall. They would probably appreciate the cooler temperatures in the fall anyways, so. But you can see, here's the remnants of one cabbage plant. Here's another one that's crunchy, but it might come through. I mean, look at that. It might pull through, I don't know. Another crunchy one right here. I think this might be a broccoli. Waltham broccoli. I think this one's a broccoli too. It might do something. And then up here, I think these are snowball cauliflowers, and most of them I tried, but it died, you know. Maybe this one will make it. I just should have came out here and watered, and I didn't. It's my fault. I didn't realize that they were that dry, because I thought that after I mulched with this compost that underneath would be, you know, pretty damp. I mean, it feels like I've been I've been being better about watering now, but it does feel damp under there. Like, this feels completely dry, but underneath it is damp. Now my hand's all dirty. Okay, I have a couple more beds to show you. So let's make our way through the jungle here. I mean, this stuff is nuts. Ugh. Anyway, here's the last bed that I have cleaned out so far. And like I said, I'm getting several weeds. It's like you do this and then you have to go back and do it again before you can get another bed cleaned out. Like, you got stuff popping all the time. Weeds are popping up. But anyway, at the end of this bed, I planted a strawberry plant last year. This was on my front porch last year in a hanging basket, And so I brought it down here and put it in this bed. I'm hoping that it'll put runners out and, you know, just take over this bed. But it's doing really well. You can see I have some strawberries started right here. And down here. I love strawberries. And this one blooms pink. Look at, I don't know if you can tell in this camera, but it's pink blooms. They're really pretty. Okay, last little bit of mess. I hope there's no snakes in here. Eek. Get out of the way if you're in there. I don't want to step on you. Alright, my garlic that I planted in October-ish, probably. It's looking pretty good. Now, these pathways, I had put down cardboard and then I put down wood chips. Well, that's not a good solution, honestly, because the following year, those wood chips start to break down, and then you get all of these weeds. I mean, you can see over there, it's covered in crown vetch. So, my plan this year to deal with all of these weeds in the walkways is we got some heavy-duty ground cover fabric, and what we're going to do is we're just going to lay it down in the pathways, and I'm not going to put anything over it, honestly, because if you put wood chips, they'll break down and then make soil on top of the ground fabric, so then weeds will start again. So I just think I'm going to leave it bare. Like, the only other possibility that I could see other than leaving it bare is to put gravel on it, and I don't even know if I want to do that, because then every time that I'm making videos and walking around on it, it's going to sound annoying. It's going to make a lot of noise. So I think I'm just going to put it down and leave it bare. Now, I don't know if it will degrade in the sunlight, you know, whenever it's exposed like that, because it's probably made to be covered up, but we'll see. Let's just look at these beautiful flowers again. It's evening time, so they're kind of closed up, but usually they're puffed out. Cute little flowers. They're gonna die here in a little bit because I'm ripping them out. But, like, I'm trying, you know, I'm making some progress. I don't think I'm even halfway through yet. Let me see here. I've got 1, 2, 3, we'll count that as 4, because it's mostly done except for mulching. 5, 6. I have 6 beds done, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 left to go. Oh, yeah. So I have a long road ahead of me. And after I get this all cleaned up, I'm going to show you a nice picture of a clean garden. It might take me 25 years to get to a clean garden, but hey, we'll see what happens. Before I wrap up this video, I just want to show you, I got a lot of work done down here. You can see all of the humongous weeds are gone, and you can't tell in a lot of the beds, but everything is planted. The empty beds are where I sowed seeds, so I will have a garden tour coming up pretty soon to let you know what I've planted, but I kind of want to see some of these seeds popping up before I give you a tour. But it just looks so much better. You can see the entire garden now. I've got some pretty flowers that I planted. But yeah, so much work, but so rewarding after you get to see clean beds full of potential food. It's gonna be good. Alright guys, that does it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time here on the Wilson Homestead. Bye, guys.